Hey everybody, welcome back to 10th Man. Today I'm going to be doing another response video. This time I'm going to be stepping into the lion's den and responding to Ben Facts Don't Care About Your Feelings Shapiro, who has done a video analysis of the newly leaked body cam footage of George Floyd's murder, or the minutes leading up to the murder. I just want to address some of the points that Mr. Shapiro makes in his video. He seems to be making the assertion that the fact of the media withholding this footage 2 months ago when this murder was first released is basically leaving out vital information to the public and is what caused this, quote, overcharge of second-degree felony murder. And second-degree felony murder is a key distinction here. In Minnesota, second-degree murder would carry an intent to kill. Second-degree felony murder, which is the highest charge that Derek Chauvin is being charged with here, is an assault with murder as the result, meaning the charged person intended to commit a felony and a homicide was the result. The homicide does not necessarily have to be the intent. The intent is the felony, which in this case is assault. That's the prosecutor's allegation. And Ben Shapiro himself actually acknowledges that an assault is what occurred. So the felony assault led to George Floyd's death. That is the highest charge. There's also a third-degree murder and manslaughter charge, but we're going to talk about the highest charge because Ben Shapiro is saying that he's being overcharged and that the only thing that should be charged is assault. Now, this overcharge of second-degree murder carries a recommended sentencing of 12 and a half years in Minnesota. So the 8-minute video where you are watching this officer take the life of a restrained man carries a recommended sentencing of 12 and a half years. This is the overcharge that Ben Shapiro is concerned about. And he seems to think that this newly leaked body cam footage exonerates the officer in question here from a second-degree felony murder charge, not to mention the third-degree or manslaughter charge, and that he should just get assault. This footage changes nothing. It changes nothing. Whatever happens before George Floyd is handcuffed and face down on the cement is irrelevant. He's restrained. He's no longer a threat. He's secured. So now you have a person on the floor, face down, yelling that he can't breathe, calling for his mother, and saying that he's about to die. There's a crowd of people around telling him to get off, telling Derek Chauvin to get off of him. So that's the part that we already had seen. Now we're seeing the minutes leading up to that. And if you watch the video, very clearly George Floyd something's going on. It looks to me like he's having an anxiety attack. I think he actually uses that word. He says he's claustrophobic. He says he's been shot at by police before, so seems to be having some paranoia. And yes, he had drugs in his system, so he was acting up something. But whatever happened prior to him being restrained is irrelevant when it comes to his death, when it comes to the murder that takes place right on camera. It doesn't change anything. And it seems like the only other issue that we have here for Mr. Shapiro is that aside from him completely missing the mark on what second-degree felony murder is, because, again, it's not intent to kill. It's intent to commit a felony, which in this case is the felony assault, which we all saw on tape. It's indisputable. There is not an argument there. The only thing in question, apparently, for Ben Shapiro is was Derek Chauvin's actions the cause of George Floyd's death? Now, he is correct in saying that that is a key factor. He is right. A key factor in convicting Derek Chauvin on the murder of George Floyd would be, of course, that George Floyd's death has to be as a result of Derek Chauvin's actions. Again, the body cam footage doesn't change a damn thing. What you're watching is the assault taking place. Now, what's in question is, did that assault lead to George Floyd's death? That's the only question right now. Did his actions lead to George Floyd's death? It doesn't matter what kind of way that George Floyd was acting prior to being face down on the ground. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner in Minnesota ruled that Floyd's death was a homicide. They said that his heart and lungs had ceased functioning while he was being restrained by law enforcement officers. Now, the case has to go to trial, of course, and Ben Shapiro says multiple times in the video that what the police officers did was wrong. He is not condoning the actions of Derek Chauvin. I get that. If you look at the facts, again, facts don't care about your feelings, right? The fact of the matter is, second-degree felony murder relates to a felony act which leads to a death. It does not mean intent to kill. That would be second-degree murder. In Minnesota, they have a distinction. So we need to understand that, okay? Felony, second-degree murder. Did Derek Chauvin assault George Floyd? And did George Floyd die because of Derek Chauvin's actions? Those are the only two questions that need to be answered in determining his guilt or innocence. The body cam footage doesn't matter. It just doesn't. Anyway, thanks a lot for checking me out. I will be talking to you all again very soon. Please continue to take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.